Hi, I'm Scott, your joint pain specialist from San Jose, California. And today's the day. We're finally going to go into phase 2 of sciatic pain recovery. So today we're not going to go over the nerve or anything like that. We're just going to go right into the exercises and the associated muscles with those exercises so you know exactly what you should be doing and how it should be feeling. So without further ado, let's just get to the workout.
Okay, so here we are with phase 2 of your workout if you're dealing with the sciatic pain issue. Now, before you start this, you should be doing pretty good. You should have about an 80% relief going on right now. If you're not at 80% relief, then you probably still have some more work to do on that phase 1. So go back and continue using phase 1 as long as you're up to at least 50% of relief. If you're not at 50% relief, then more than likely you have a unique cause of what's going on with your sciatic nerve, your sciatic pain and everything. So in that case, I would highly recommend clicking the link in the description and getting a personalized assessment done by me. I will, through my HIPAA compliant app, so that's HIPAA compliant for your personal safety, your personal security, okay? Only I will be the only person that'll be accessing this information and everything. But I will assess you remotely, and then based off of the video and the still images that you send me, and you'll get instructions on how to do that, I will then prescribe you a workout, and then hopefully you'll see some progress finally over the course of a month. After a month, we're going to reassess again to see what kind of new progress that we need to make. That's how come you see monthly corrective exercise program is $50 a month. Okay, so let's get back to this workout. All right, so as long as you're feeling 80%, you're doing pretty good. This is a routine that you're going to want to do daily. Okay, there are 8 exercises. Most of them are strength exercises. There is a little bit of mobility stuff in here. Okay, but again, 3 days a week is all that you need to be doing on this one. So this first one is kind of like a warm-up for the whole thing. It's called Clamshell. You're laying down. You see how your leg is bent. You want to be comfortable here. So if it turns out you need like a pillow or something, it's ideal to be kind of like you might need something here to support your spine. Okay, that would be a good idea. So you're not collapsed and falling on top of each other. Ideal situation is that you're in a good spinal alignment and everything, okay? But the knees are comfortably bent. You don't want to feel like you're compressing anything in your hips or your knees or your ankles or feet or anything like that. Now notice that the ankles, they're just resting there. It's not like you have to push your feet into position. And also notice that right here, hand is in front just to help stabilize so you're not rotating around. It's really easy to cheat with this exercise by twisting your spine to help do the movement. You really want to make sure that your spine is just staying neutral in this straight, comfortable position. The only thing that should be moving is the leg, just like you see right here. And it's going to be moving from this hip area, okay? Now the feet are just resting there. You're not pushing the feet down or anything like that. They're just resting and they're pivoting on your feet with that hip, okay? Let's check out this. So the muscle for this one, so here's the lower extremity, right? So the muscle that we're really focusing on this one is your glute medius, all right? Now you're going to be using all of these right through here and all the way down the thigh and everything. There's no such thing as pure muscle isolation, but this is the primary one you're going to be working with because it's in line with that knee and that big band that's going to be pulling up, lifting that leg up in the air, okay? Check this out. So we remove all those muscles so you can see the femur and everything, okay? So the muscle attaches right up across here, okay, and then comes straight down and attaches to this knob right there. Okay, that's called the greater trochanter of your femur. So can you see right here, this is where kind of like is attaching, right? So there's where the muscles are, okay, there's where it's attaching. Can you see how to lift the leg up and the muscles, they have to shorten, right? So it shortens and pulls right there on this section of the bone to lift the leg up into the air, all right? That's what's going to be happening. You really want to think about trying to feel this glute muscle, okay? It's a side glute muscle, all right? Okay, let's get back to the exercise. All right, so let's watch a video to see how it's done. Now notice, range of motion isn't so great, right? So here you can see the person demonstrating really well where she's just lifting up as far as she possibly can without her torso rotating. This is a really good example. And notice how the leg really, maybe the knee comes higher than the hip. Okay, the range of motion isn't that great, okay? So don't think like you have to throw your leg all the way up and it needs to rotate to like, 180 degrees or something like that. It's just not going to happen without you cheating and using your torso and everything. So nice and control. You might want to think about holding it for a couple seconds right at the top. And then also make sure that you're feeling that glute working as you're bringing the knee back down. All right. You want to strengthen both phases of the movement. Okay. They call it concentric and eccentric phases of movement. All right. The muscles should be strengthening on both phases. All right. So concentric is the motion where the muscle is shortening. So that's when the knee is going up and away from the other leg. Eccentric is when it's lengthening and it's coming back down, right? Hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, let's head back. All right, hip bridge is the next one. Very simple exercise. You're probably familiar with it. Big thing here is being comfortable in the starting position. And then another big thing is a lot of people kind of make the mistake by using their low back a lot, and they kind of like overarch and extend that low back. If your glutes are really weak, that's a little cheat that your body will do. Another cheat will be to using these hamstrings. And then another cheat would actually be to push those feet out. Okay, so to help prevent you from doing that, I'd recommend wearing socks, and then having your feet kind of like on a slippery surface, like linoleum or tile or wood or something like that. So that way, if you are pushing your feet out, which means you're using your quads, okay? You're using your quads because you're trying to extend the knees, then your feet will slide and you're not doing it right, okay? So you want to make sure that those feet stay still, and the only thing that's using that bridge up is these glutes and hamstrings. The primary is going to be the glutes, those hip extensions, okay? So let's check out that muscle, the glute max, I should say. So get rid of this. Right here, you see that? So that muscle is in line in this direction to pull the leg up. Now, if we remove, you see the hamstrings are attached right there to your pelvis. Oop. Come on, there you go. That's your hip bone. Okay, so this is your pelvis. Your ischiotuberosity is where your hamstrings kind of attached to. So your hamstrings are going to be helping out a lot with this one, but you want to try to make sure that the primary muscle that you're really feeling is that right there, that glute max, that big, huge rump in the backside. Okay. Let's check out the videos he has done. Controlling that movement, really feeling the glutes flex, get to the top of the range, hold it for a 2 count, and then make sure the glutes stay tight as you bring the legs or the hips back down. All right. Again, you shouldn't be feeling like you're pushing away. It should be really comfortable and easy. It should definitely be a major glute exercise. Think about trying to engage your core just to help support your low back. That would be a good idea. Again, hold it tight all the way up, hold it tight all the way back down. That way you, again, strengthen both phases of the movement, that concentric and eccentric phase of the movement. Okay, sideline leg lift. All right, this is very similar to the clamshell one, but it's more difficult. Why is it more difficult, you ask? Well, because the leg is straight. So that means that we're lengthening the lever. All right. Now, the reality is this makes it harder, right? The longer the lever, okay, so gravity is going to be pushing down all the way out to the ankle as opposed to just the knee, right? So the forces are going to be pushing down out to here, which means a greater amount of torque will have to be generated in your hip and glute. It's going to be the same muscle. Reality is this is really high, okay? If you're having sciatic issues, more than likely you're going to bring it up, if you're lucky, to the same level that you did with the clam, okay? More than likely it's probably going to be below that level, all right? This person is functioning at a high level, and they're showing you the goal, okay, the end goal. But if you're needing this help and everything, then you're not going to get all the way up here. If you are, you're cheating, okay? Your legs either rotating out to use other muscles or you're twisting your torso around. Okay, but the setup, just like the clam, is exactly the same. Okay, and the muscle is exactly the same. Okay, it's this bad boy right here. Okay, so that muscle is smaller than that muscle. So with that increased amount of torque that's going to be necessary, it's just not going to be able to do as much in comparison to the clam one that we did. But let's check out that video and see how it's done. Oops. Again, perfect example. Torso is staying perfectly still. Only difference is when you come up, I want you to kind of like hold it for a couple seconds at the very top, really feel that squeeze, and then just make sure you're keeping it tight as you bring it all the way down. Now, if you lose the tightness feeling in that hip glute area as you're bringing it down, then that just means you brought it down too low. Okay, and that's okay. It will the range of motion will improve as you get stronger. So you just work in the range of motion where you can feel that glute muscle working. And if you can't feel the glute muscle working, then put your hand on your hip and kind of like feel for it to contract and everything, and then just work in the range that you can feel it contracting with your hand. And then as it gets better, you start feeling it without the hand, then you can switch and put your hand more into a stabilizing position like it is right here. Okay, McKenzie Extension. If you remember from our last time, the sciatic nerve comes up or comes down from the spine. So strengthening your core, especially the muscles that are designed to help decompress your spine, is going to be a good idea. Now, this is a gentle McKenzie exercise. Let's try to strengthen the spinal erectors and the spinal extenders. All you're doing is nice and control, really feeling the muscles on the side of the spine, not like straight in the middle of the spine. So you don't want to think about trying to compress the SPs of your spine, okay? You want to think about the muscles on the side of your spine contracting and pulling it up, okay? Right next to your spine, but like around the side of it, okay? That's the appropriate feeling of flexion. Let me see if I don't have to back out and move around a little bit. Trunk, muscles, spin it around. Okay, so those are some of the surface ones. There we go. Okay, so these muscles right here, right? These are the ones that I'm talking about that are going to be, and then there's even deeper ones. This one, these, those are going to be the ones that we're trying to target. So you see it here, when I'm talking about those SPs, those little, let's bring it in here, those little tips there that are sticking out from the spine. Can you see that right there? Those are your SPs, your spinous processes, okay? So you don't want these to be compressing and feeling the tension right through here. You see you got muscles, oops, there. You got these muscles right here. Those are the compression that you're going to be feeling if you do that. You want these here over on the sides, okay? You want these side ones doing all the work. And then this one, oops, these, so on and so forth, okay? Oops, let's get back. All right, let's see the video, see how it's done. Arms are here for support. I'd recommend possibly like a pillow or a towel right there on your forehead so your nose doesn't accidentally smash into the ground. It's kind of a good idea. And you really want to think about trying to like long spine as you're coming and arching back up, holding for a 2 count. Don't think about coming short and just pushing your shoulders, your spine straight back like that, like this direction. You want to think about it like, let's see. Okay, you know in NASCAR how they just do loops, right? You know how sometimes you see have you heard of cars trying to pass on the outside lane, the outside loop, okay? That's what you want to think about with your spine. You want to think about your spine kind of like going around the curve, but trying to stay on the outside lane going around everything, okay? So long, lengthening movement is what you want to think about doing on this. And again, 2-second hold at the top, really control, try to feel that back help supporting on the way going down. The arms are there to be a little support system. to help you push up a little bit if you need to increase that range a little bit more. You can barely get up, but don't worry about it if your range of motion is really small. You don't have to come all the way up onto your elbows like the demonstration is. The important thing is feeling the right muscles, strengthening and pulling you up, and not feeling any kind of compression going on in the middle of your spine. That's most important. Okay. Okay. Fire hydrant. Okay. So again, this one is back to this guy. All right. That guy right there. There is a higher probability you're going to be using this a little bit. That's okay. But you really want to feel this one or this one. Okay. So you really want to think about the glutes and everything. All right. Everything on this side will be working, right? But you should only be feeling these glute muscles here. These that are highlighted. Okay. That's what you want to be feeling working on this one. All right, let's see. If the wrists are uncomfortable doing this, you could try doing like a fist position. If that's uncomfortable, you can get like a stool or a chair and kind of like rest your arms on there. Okay. And that's going to be about it. And then all you're doing is using those muscles I pointed out, squeezing them and controlling it as far out as you can, and making sure that they stay tight as you bring the leg back down. All right, let's check out the video. Make sure you hold it for a 2 count as you bring it up high. Now carefully, see how there's a little bit of a rotation there? There's going to be a greater chance of rotation because there's less surface area on the ground to stabilize on. So really be careful. Engage that core, make sure you're staying nice and tight and still, and you're not tipping over and rotating with your torso, that it's all just this leg moving. Okay? There you go. Okay. Bird dog. Okay, this is a complicated one. There's a lot of things that are going on here, all right? If this is difficult for you to coordinate, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can take it and break it down into a couple different pieces, okay? You can actually do this in 3 different stages, all right? So stage 1, if this is too difficult to do, right here, where one arm and opposite leg are going up, right? We're going out. It's more about reaching away, not lifting up, okay? You can start first with arm only. So your both knees are staying on the ground, and then you're just reaching forward with one arm, controlling down and switching to the other arm. Now the point of this is to be tensing up your core, all right? Your trunk and spinal muscles should be flexing like crazy, trying to keep your spine still. That is the goal, all right? The movement, the arms, it should be easy for the arms. It shouldn't be a difficult thing at all. What should be difficult is for you to maintain perfect stability with these trunk muscles, okay? Once you get comfortable doing just the arms only, then just arms stay resting, then do the legs only. Same thing, okay? But this time, you're gonna feel a little bit more in the glutes, okay? The glutes are pretty important when it comes to stabilizing the spine because they help control and stabilize your pelvis, and your spine rest on your pelvis. So engaging the glutes is a good idea with this, but also making sure that you're not rotating your trunk around. So really engaging that abdominal muscles and the core muscles nice and tight. Okay. Then once you've mastered the lower legs by themselves, then go to the full Monty and do both the arm and the leg. Okay. Let's see how it's done in the video. Again, make sure that you're holding it for a 2 count up top. See how they're switching, and look at that. No movement going on in that core. Reach, a little bit more challenging on that side. Okay, so really brace that core, and it's not. This isn't uncommon. Okay, it's pretty common to be really strong on one side, but not as strong on the other side. Okay, so really focus on engaging that core and try to not let your body shift around or shake or anything like that. All right. Okay. Modified side plank. So full side plank would be with your legs being fully extended, okay? Modified is with the knees being bent, okay? And you can have, this leg can be straight on the ground. That's another modification. It's kind of, technically it's supposed to be more challenging, but some people think it's exactly the same thing, so whatever. If it's more comfortable, well, what's most important is that you're comfortable while doing the exercises, okay? Now, what's really good about this side plank is that you see, your hip is going up. So what muscle are we talking about when it comes to getting things stronger with that hip, right? It's this one, that one right there, okay? And that's in the same alignment and use of that one, okay? In that position. Now, that's not the goal. The goal isn't to like feel that muscle working. The goal is for it to not be relevant with this movement, because the goal is actually your core here, okay? Now, you got to be careful. You want your elbow underneath your shoulder. It's really easy to have your elbow kind of out. And when you do that, that puts your shoulders into a position where you're going to be using those deltoids a lot, and those traps up here a lot. And that can, if you're feeling your shoulder working a lot, then something's not right, okay? If you're having a hard time getting in position and not being able to have your shoulder working, then instead think about trying to squeeze the lat muscle. Let's see, hold on. Okay, oops, here, trunk, right here. Okay, so this is the deltoid right here, and that's what you might be feeling. You might feel some trap also, depending upon the position of your arm, and it's common. Don't worry about it. This right here is your lat, okay? Notice where it's attached to. See if you can bring it down, okay? So it's attached to your arm right here next to your bicipital groove, okay? This is your lat. So you want to think about, and it also attaches to the bottom of your shoulder blade. So in order to get that focus that your lat is doing the stability, you want to think about pulling your whole shoulder blade down towards your hip, and that'll engage the lat, and that'll be a better focus because it attaches to your spine. So that's also associated with the core. Okay, so and isolate it. See how the lat right here, okay, attaches to the ribs, right with the serratus, the external obliques. And if we can go down, let's see how many layers can I go down before. Boom. Then here's the internal obliques, boom. There's a transverse abdominis. So all those muscles here, this is what we're focusing on. We're focusing on that guy, we're focusing on that guy, we're focusing on this guy, okay? And we're also gonna be focusing on this guy. All of these muscles here on the side and a little bit of this, okay? We'll be holding that position. What else will be holding that position that we already talked about? This guy, and or this guy, okay? If you're feeling this one up here, the front of your hip and everything, you gotta change your position, okay? We don't want this one to be doing a lot of the work. It's gonna be working no matter what, but you really shouldn't feel it, okay? It should be insignificant in this position. All right, let's watch the video, see how it's done. Play. Lifting up, holding it for the prescribed duration. We'll go over that at the end of this. And then controlling it back down, nice and easy at the very end. Really focusing on these oblique muscles here. You want to think about these side muscles right here, driving up, okay? If you feel the front of your hip, okay, on the side there, then you're in a poor position. Try adjusting your legs, something like that. If you're feeling the deltoid or the neck a lot, then try to engage that lat by pulling the shoulder down towards your hip. Okay? Okay. Then last but not least. Okay, so this is foam rolling for that glute. All right. After doing a bunch of strengthening on the side, we want to make sure that we're not overdoing it, right? So we want to try to create some release tension and everything with good strengthening exercises. So notice the position that we're in here, okay? Now this is a little bit deeper, progression number 2. This is a little bit more intense than the previous one. So you're going to want to take it kind of easy, nice and easy, only a couple minutes at most. If you find a sensitive area, stop and rest on it for about 10 seconds. You don't want to go really long on it. Okay, it doesn't sound like it's a lot, but it can be. If you go too far, you can have negative consequences. Okay, it can make things worse for you. So you want to err on the side of caution. Okay, let's check out the video, see how we're doing it. Personally, I don't like being on my hand like this, so instead I get on my elbow. That's just me personally when I do it. And you want to be in a comfortable position. Your knee here doesn't have to be as bent as it is. It's easier like that, but you can have your foot further away so that your knee doesn't have to be so high up. The big thing here is just having that leg rotated like that, okay? So that knee rotated out. That's the important part. And however you kind of like configure your body to get into that position, that's all that matters, okay? So that you're on that. So in this example, her right glute hip, she is externally rotating that right leg. And how you know that is because the knee is pointing out, okay? And the leg is across. So you can have this leg straight and have it in the same position, and it'll be just as effective if that's the best position you get into. But as you get more mobile and flexible, you'll be able to bend that leg more than just being straight. All right. Okay, so let's go over these. All right, so all of these are to be done daily. All right, every single day you should be able to do this one. Okay, and again, it's best if you're doing this at 80% relief from the previous exercise. If you're not at least 50%, then I highly recommend clicking the link in the description. For $50, I'll be able to assess you and write you a prescribed workout plan that's going to help you get some relief here, okay? Other than that, then you want to do 3 sets, about 10 repetitions on every single one of these, except for the very end, the foam rolling. We're only going to do 1 set. You can do 3 repetitions. You're going to do both sides, okay? You're not going to just do it on the side that bothers you, okay? And all these exercises, okay, that you're doing one leg, you're doing both sides, okay? You don't want to overtrain one side and undertrain the other. That's just going to lead to another problem, another issue. If your one side feels really good and it's easy and you can feel everything and it's strong, then I would say only do 1 set on that strong side, okay? But on this weaker side that we're trying to get stronger and better, definitely you want to do 3 sets of 10 on all of these. When it comes to the 30 seconds of rest right here, that's per set. Okay, it's not 30 seconds per rep, it's per set. So you're going to do 10 repetitions, right? 2-second holds at the top, controlling the movement and everything, making sure that you're feeling all the muscles working and doing what they're supposed to be doing. And after you finish all 10 reps, then you rest for 30 seconds. Okay, then you can do it again. Or what you could do is do 1 leg, then as soon as you finish the 10 repetitions, switch to the other leg, do 10 repetitions, and switch back. Go back and forth, just like that. And then you don't have to sit around, wasting time. You'll be resting in between training the other limb. But when it comes to hip bridging, you're going to need to take some time off. All right. So you're going to want to take at least 10 seconds if you're feeling fine. But if you're not feeling fine, which is the reason why you're here, then taking the 30 seconds is a good idea. And let's see. Yeah. Again, with the McKenzie Extension, with the bird dog, that's what you're going to want to do. Okay?
And that's it. Thank you very much for making it to the very end. I really hope that you value the information I'm giving you. I really hope that you take advantage of it and apply it. If you're not feeling the results that you should be by now, then again, please click the link in the description, and for $50, I'll be able to assess you and prescribe you exactly what is necessary in order for you to start feeling a lot better. Thanks a lot for making it to the end again, and I will see you again later. Bye.